Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a real great day today. And well, this is kind of an odd video, and I don't really know how to explain it. But I was sitting down, as you can see by my window, it's pretty late at night. I was sitting down and I was writing a letter to my brother. And all of a sudden, this motivation hit me to make this video. Well, let me just explain it this way. There's a big misconception that everybody looks at Christians as being perfect. But the truth is, Christians aren't perfect. Christians don't try to be perfect. So if you want to hear more about this, stick around for 1 second, and I'll try to explain it better. Alrighty. As I said a moment ago, the biggest misconception about Christianity is everybody looks down on Christians as being perfect. And Christians even look at other believers as being perfect. But as it says many times in the Bible, we are all sinners. And don't get me wrong, I consider myself a Christian. I was born and raised in the faith, and let me tell you, I can't imagine my life without it. But that doesn't mean that we don't sin. That doesn't mean we don't do things we shouldn't do. Because a wise man once said, there was one perfect person on this world, and he hung on the cross. And I was told this saying when I was 5, 6, maybe 7 years old. And it was stuck with me all this time. Because the more I think about it, the more I realize how true it is. In the Bible, all these people are throwing stones at this woman. And Jesus says, for the one who has never sinned may cast their stone, and nobody cast their stone. And this was back 2,000 years ago. That was hardcore religion, and even they were sinners. See, so many people think, I have to be perfect to make it to heaven. I have to live a perfect life to make it to heaven. But let me tell you, if Christians lived a perfect life, God wouldn't have to forgive. We wouldn't have to forgive other Christians. But let me tell you, God's forgiveness is like no other. He will forgive everyone for their sins as long as they take their sins to Him in prayer. Now, you may think, well, I did this, so God won't accept me. I've done this, and God won't accept me. But trust me, God will forgive you. He forgives everyone. Don't think because of something you did yesterday that God won't forgive you today. As you can see, I didn't think about what I was going to say in this video. It hit me. It hit me as I was writing. And Christians aren't perfect. This is another thing I heard in Sunday school one week. I was probably right around the same age as when I heard that other saying. And the teacher, I remember this very clearly. The teacher said that if you try to live a perfect life, you aren't going to make it to heaven. Because you don't have to live a perfect life. You don't have to live righteous to make it to heaven. You could be the worst sinner in the world, But as long as you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior and Lord, you will make it to heaven. Now, if you don't believe Jesus is forgiving, if you blame him for something you have done, it's all right. We all blame him for things that have happened to us. And it's easy to do, because he plans out our whole life. But if we try to understand why God does what he does, why Jesus, why they all do what they do, we would never understand. But think about it this way. Do you want someone you can understand running the whole universe? Or do you just want to accept, hey, I don't understand this, but God put me here to do this? And doesn't that sound a whole lot better? Let's think about that. If you could understand everything that happened in the universe, the reason why God did everything that he did and continues to do, wouldn't you just do it yourself? Why would you have to worship God if you understood it all? He sees your whole life. Your whole life. He plans it out before you're even born. Now, yes, we all get off the path once in a while. We all sin. We all break commandments. We do a lot of things we shouldn't do. But God forgives us. If you ever think that God doesn't forgive you, think about this. When Jesus was hanging on the cross, he had just had a crown of thorns put on his head. He had nails driven through his hands and through his feet. He was stripped and whipped and beaten and spit on. And he just carried his cross all the way up the mountain. He had crowds of people the whole way. Some cheered him, some spat on him. God was on the cross. Or I should say, rather, Jesus was on the cross. Holy Trinity, but Jesus was on the cross. And he looked up to God. And he said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they have done. Now, if that isn't forgiveness, what is? He had been scorned and beaten. He had a spear poked into his side. The blood had drenched out of him. And he still said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they have done. Now that is true love. That is true forgiveness. I know a lot of people, kind of look down on Christians anymore, say, oh, stop preaching the word. Stop giving us that same old beaten line. Stop wasting our time. But I'm not a preacher. I don't claim to be a preacher. Yes, I believe in God with all my heart. I put God every day in my life. I wear the cross on my guitar strap. But yet, I don't claim to be a preacher. I sure don't claim to be perfect. But I know that when that day comes and God calls us over, that a lot of people who claimed to have been righteous and perfect aren't going to climb the stairway to heaven. Because Judgment Day will eventually come upon us. I don't know when, but it'll happen. On that day, I don't want to look down and see good friends, family, all of them not climbing the staircase. So with this little message tonight, I hope you sleep tight. May the good Lord bless and keep you. I'm able to come back and see you all once again. Good night, everybody.